that they had moved this cabin down. So as their house, and we all lived together in there. And I remember that we had our beds when our sisters had to sleep crosswise on the bed, on our bed. There were two beds, one for mom and dad, and the baby would sleep with them, the baby of the family. And uh, then we lined up over here, my sister Lily, me, Elsie, Pauline, Ina, and Doris was the youngest one. That all happened by that. Doris wasn't born by that time. I was just trying to think what year that was. Oh, I should know, because Annis, the one that got burned, or the one that Mama had to carry through the flames. So Annis was the. Yeah, she had to carry her because she carried her through the flames. That'd be Annis because Lily wasn't born. Well, Annis lived to be about 7 years old, and then she got some kind of heart trouble, and Dad, they told him, well, Doc Dorn said, I can't do anything for her. He says there's a place called Hot Lake where you might be able to take her and get some help. He says, I don't know what kind of help there is there for you. So Dad, he had an old flivver, one of the very first old flivvers that come out. And he drove and drove and drove and got Annis up there to that place called Hot Lake. And she stayed there for a long time until she was about, I don't know, about 7. She was about 7 years old. Okay. No, she wasn't 7 yet. But then, anyhow, since they couldn't do anything for her, he had to just bring her back home. Well, this one time, Dad was out with the horses, and they were hooked to a cedar, but then he was seeding after plowing up. He was seeding the. They had a cedar, and you. Yeah, you had to hook and unhook the horses, like when he got done. And Annis, when he got through seeding, Annis saw him out there, and she ran out there and climbed up on he had these big wheels on him, on those cedars that the horses pulled. And Annis climbed right up on one of them wheels and put her with her feet through the spokes. They just had spokes, those wheels did. And she put her and hooked her legs in through the wheels like that. And unbeknownst, one of those, something startled the horses. They think it was one of those horse flies that bother horses. You know about a horsefly? How bad they are. Horses are terrible. And once they get them, they just go crazy so they can run and get away from them. Well, the horses ran, and it whipped Annis around and broke her leg. So she, I think, walked with a limp, I guess, the rest. Now, all I remember about Annis was the funeral when I was 4 years old. Now, that's as far back. I don't have any memory from 4 years and younger. And I remember being at the funeral. I looked into that casket, and I looked up at Mom and Dad, and I said, why is everybody crying? I didn't know nothing. I don't have any idea. You know, that fire probably, uh, well, that's what I'll say it was. I don't know what caused me to not be able, but I have no memory of that. Then when I got old enough, well, we used to travel cross country in this old flivver, get all of us in there. We'd all head cross country to Echo to go use the Methodist church because uh, the pastor would come down from Pendleton, or no, he wouldn't. No, it was a Methodist church, so they had their own. We were Lutheran, and so the Lutherans, all from around my aunt and uncles came from Lexington, and as they could. Later, right at first they didn't because it was. It wasn't until the roads got enough built and everything, and then they started to come. And anyway, they came and we had to build onto the house and eventually build onto that one cabin that was there. He put a front porch on and screened it in, and he built a back one on. And Mama used to have that old washer that used to have this. You started by stepping like you do a motor, boom, she just boom it. And only they had it on the inside of that porch in the winter time, and that blue smoke, and our bedroom was right off of that. Oh my, that awful smell would come into our bedroom, and I don't know, I hated that smell. I couldn't wait till we get up and get out of there. And anyway, the well went dry, and they had to call Charlie Lewis, that's his name. Had to call him out and pull the rods, all them rods up, because a rod would break. And had to pull them all out, replace the rod that was broken, and then put it all back again. And then you waited on the wind. If the wind wasn't right, you couldn't turn the fans to make it pump the water. Well, they had built a cistern, a cement cistern upon the hill, where it would pump the water up into that cistern, and it ran by pipes they ran pipes underground up to this cistern, where the water went in at the top and filled over into the cistern. Well, I remember in later years when we'd have a real dry spell, and there just simply was no wind to turn the deal. Well, we could go down, Mama would take us kids and we'd go down inside of there. Would you believe this? I'm telling the honest truth. We'd go down inside there, the well with water ran dry, where they had to bring water up from Tony Vay's place up out of a winding to use a team of horses and a long buckboard, like I'd say. It took two strong horses, and then we had old Jack and John. They were the strong ones, and it had we had some big barrels. They were huge, like this around, and probably not as tall